Good morning, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us this morning, bright and early on a Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central. Love to have you here. Hope that you all are having a great start to your year here in 2021. We're fortunate here at IAMS. Our numbers so far look very strong, and we have nothing but you all to thank for that. It feels like some of the restrictions are loosening up around the country in general. It doesn't feel like it. It's actually true. A lot of masking laws, and we can get together in groups a little bit more, and seminars are coming back. So this is going to be a particularly advantageous webinar. When we go back to this time or a couple months earlier last year, say around the February, March timeframe, we had pretty good momentum around Social Security claiming the knowledge, the using it to grow our group of people that we talk to via seminars. I think we canceled like 16, 17 seminars in the month of March last year alone, and I feel like we're going to get back to some of that this year. So particularly nice to have with us today the coach Dave Pemper of Lazarus Coaching. He's going to talk about Social Security claiming. He's going to talk about some of the key things that you need to know about Social Security claiming. Then he's going to go on to spend a little bit of time and talk about some ways that you can use that knowledge to help your current clients and to grow your client base with seminars, potentially radio. So going to be a really good webinar today. I'm going to zip through some things here. As you all know, we start off most of these webinars and tell you a little bit about IAMS, what we can do to help you, and want to make sure that you're aware of all those. New producer builders, we've got a really strong group of new producers on with us today, which is great. These are folks that have been with us just a relatively short time. So you got opportunity to grow your business, I would say, kind of on steroids here with IAMS for these new producer builders. As you look at those, keep in mind, you can kind of get an idea of some of the values of those from a cash standpoint. If there's something that you're doing currently or something you'd like to try on your own that doesn't fall within that list of things, certainly let us know. We're going to be really open to doing those types of things with you. Remember, the goal of these is to help you grow your business and get to, uh, you know, uh, in ever increasing levels of sales success. So whatever we can do to do that, whether it's on this list or something you want to do on your own, we're certainly open to that. A couple other programs that we have here that are really helpful is our preferred producer program and marketing reimbursement programs. These are programs that most of you all have taken advantage of at some level. We're seeing more and more people on our RPM list. It's a list of folks that we produce each quarter and we send checks to, and those checks are literally now thousands of dollars. You can see how that can add up in a heartbeat when you look at the program. It's very simple. When you refer somebody to get licensed, we're going to give you a check for $50. No big deal there. But what happens is they do business, then that accrues a bonus to you. That bonus does not change any. They still have all the benefits that you have, all the incentive programs, all of our everything that we do here at IAMS to help grow the business. They still have access to. We just take that bonus that we pay you out of our advertising budget and put it in your pocket. We'd much rather pay you than any email company or a magazine or whatever, any other ways that we generally go about meeting new producers. So we thank you for your referrals. If you have a colleague that you think might benefit from something we do in terms of the incentives or trainings or products or service that we offer here, I certainly would appreciate you referring them over, and then make sure that we get them on their referral logs for you, and it just automatically tracks in our system as they do business, and we send out the check to you each quarter. Marketing reimbursement, that's a simple program. All your business that you do with us goes into money from that goes into your marketing reimbursement. When you spend $1 on advertising, we're going to match that for you. So kind of double the value of your advertising dollars is the best way to think of that. Again, some of the biggest checks that we send out here. We have great back office support. We've got a great team. We put a lot of time and effort and money into our back office support for good reason. We think it's a differentiator for us. It's the reason we know that a lot of our folks that do business with us stay doing business with us. Saves them a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of money on their end, and keeps them doing what they do best. So having that back office support is important to us. That's not going to change. Again, I know we've got a lot of folks that are new to IAMS, maybe haven't really felt the benefit of that. But as you do business, I think you'll more and more begin to value and realize how important that can be to your business. One of the things that we added here recently, and our timing was really good on that, Firelight is an EAP solution, and that EAP solution is resident now on our website. What that means is that you can access Firelight on any of our carriers from our website. So instead of going from website to website to website when you're doing business with multiple carriers, now you can just access it through our Firelight setup, and It's a very easy way. It takes about 3 minutes literally to register for that. And then all you have to do is just, if you do apps, you know how a Firelight system works. You just come to our website and access the carrier, and off you go. A lot of advantages to that. There's one advantage for us is it does save us some of that input time because information feeds right into our system, which is nice for us. But from your standpoint, what you get is, of course, more complete application forms. You get the kind of the double check to make sure that you get all the boxes filled in so you don't miss anything, which is really beneficial to you. If you need to access multiple carriers, you can do it easily within our system, and then you can cut and paste information so you don't have to completely fill everything out like you would if you went from a carrier's individual website. And it does maintain that in our system for uh, for future business as well. So in our Firelight system for future business. So it can save you a lot of time and effort. We hope that you'll take advantage of that. We have a promotion going right now where every app that's done via Firelight gets a chance in the system when we do a $200 drawing each Monday. We've just announced a couple of winners here in the last couple of Mondays of the $200, which is great. We know that's not a difference maker. We just want you to look, and if you're considered e-apps, great. We want you to look at our system. It'll save you a lot of time and money. If you haven't, hopefully you consider that going forward. I think you find it really beneficial to your business. Creative Marketing Solutions, think of this really as your advertising team. It's a group of folks here, an ever expanding group because we have more and more folks using that part of what we do. But they're folks that know your business, know other folks just like you that are trying to do just what you're trying to do, have put together things for them. They've helped. Some of your fellow producers have helped with putting that stuff together. So it's a lot of very pertinent and valuable stuff already pre-built for you to help you grow your business and grow your image in your area. We do a lot of that work pro bono. We do a lot of it using marketing reimbursement. And of course, if there's some other cost items that are not covered by marketing reimbursement, if you don't have marketing reimbursement, we're going to do that at as low a cost as possible. That area is built to help you grow your business. When you're doing better business, we're doing better business. So we're going to do everything we can to help you. Take advantage of that by calling your sales director and say, hey, what can they do to help me? And they'll do that. And do the same thing on our website. You can see some of the basics of what we have on our website, but call your sales director and just say, hey, walk me through the website. This is what I do and how I do it. What tools out there might, and if they don't show you, for instance, IAM's sales resource library, call me up because that's just an oversight on their part. There's a ton of great information in there. Of course, that's how you access Firelight. Eventually, you will be able to access your business and see what's going on specifically with your business there. So a lot of great stuff on our website that I think you'll like. Retirement Analyzer is a software system that we make available at our cost to our producers and even folks that are not yet producing with us, but maybe looking at us. We'll let you take a look at the Retirement Analyzer. It's a great tool. You can see the questions that you can answer for your client. You can get an idea of kind of the way it lays it out from the graphics just on the slide before you. For your A and B clients, I think something like this would be very valuable to them and valuable to you. It would tie them more closely to you. They're going to need to come back to you year after year after year to update this information and make sure they're still on, and they're going to want to make sure that they're still on track. It's going to present additional sales opportunities for you and just change the dynamic of your relationship with your best customers. I don't think you want to do this on your D&F clients only because there's a certain level of input that goes on with this. It can be time, can put a little pressure on your time. But the reason that we picked the Retirement Analyzer is the value of the output and the ease of the input we think is some of the best in the industry. Call Marcus or David here at the office and say, hey, walk me through that Retirement Analyzer a little bit, give me a sample and run one on yourself, run one on a client. I think you'll find it useful and valuable. There's some folks that we do business with that just swear by it, and this has been the key to the growth of their business over the last 4, 5, 7, 8, 10 years. We've been using a Retirement Analyzer for quite a while. I think that in itself is a testament to the value that it has brought to our producers. IAMS Wealth Management. So if you do not have an RIA, or if you're not an IAR yet, if you're not handling managed assets and you're at all considering that, I want you to look at this poll real quick. And if you want to maybe take advantage of that, I hope that you will check yes on this poll. Let me pull it up here really quick to launch that. Obviously, IAMS Wealth, having an IAR, the ability to handle manage assets, is going to do the things that you saw on that slide where you said increase your revenue. It's going to help you maintain your clients, I think, a little bit closer to you, and it's going to overall just help with that client relationship. Here are the things that IAMS Wealth can do for you. So if you need some help with the testing, they're really good at that. Most of their guys that have come from an insurance background, they've helped through that process. So gotten them their books and helped them through the testing process to get that Series 65. If you already have your 65, maybe you haven't been happy with your RIA because they're not helping you enough to, present your newfound abilities to your clients, or to, on a one-off assist through the process. I get a lot of feedback from our guys, and IAMS Wealth is really good at that. If you're unhappy with your fees, if you're currently at an RIA and your fees are too high and you don't feel like you're getting valuable benefits from those fees, IAMS Wealth, I hear over and over again the feedback that I get from folks is that what they get in the fees that they charge, it's really, really good value. And when I look at it, I agree with that. I can see why we've done that on the IAMS Wealth side, and I think it's a good idea to keep those fees as low and the value is as high as we can. And then really the key, and here's the most important part, the payouts are just around 1%. And a lot of folks are used to hearing, hey, 1% payouts, but then they're also used to hearing that you get 90 or 80 or 70% of that like it's a good thing. We're 100% of that. You're going to get, we don't go through a gridding system. So you're going to get 100% of that 1%, or a little over 1% as a payout. So if any of those things sound appealing to you, and maybe you want to have a quick conversation with somebody over at IAMS Wealth, hit yes on that poll. If you don't want to, if that's not a part of your business, if you're happy with your current RIA, your payouts are where you want them to be, your fees are where you want them to be, the support is where you want it to be from your current RIA, check no. If you're not interested in that, if adding managed assets is not a growing part of your business, then go ahead and hit no on that poll. And the final thing I would say is that as the DOL thing emerges over the next year or so, and it's going to be more and more important you have a component of your business that is other than insurance. So it may be that you'll need to refer that business to someone outside, which is not ideal, but IAMS Wealth can act on as a referred source for you. So if you have clients and you want them to have the ability to do other than insurance and look to you for a resource for that, IAMS Wealth can do that for you. So if you have interest in that, then hit yes on that poll too. And you'll just have to let the folks know when they call that that is of interest to you. We can actually, in many states, we can actually compensate you for that. So if that's of interest, hit yes on the poll. There's about 6 of you that haven't voted yet. If you're unable to vote and you have interest, be sure and let me know. It looks like many of you are able to vote and have voted already. I'm going to close that poll out because I'd like to get moving along. But obviously, if I've hit a chord with you and you haven't been able to vote, give us a call here at the office. It's 800-255-5055. If you just don't know how to vote or whatever, can't figure that out on the system, obviously I understand that as well. Give us a call here at the office, 800-255-5055. If you have interest, we'll be glad to put you in touch with those folks. I am going to close that poll out in the interest of getting moving along here really quick. Wanted to talk to you a little bit because our top producer summit, obviously last year's top producer summit, we had to cancel because of the COVID, but we kind of doubled down, and we got a great opportunity. I think one of the best opportunities in the industry. For only $4.5 million over 18 months, you and your guests can qualify for a cruise that starts out in Rome and ends up in Venice, Italy, and really has some nice stops. I've heard a lot of great things about some of the stops. Obviously, Corfu, many of you heard of that. Sorrento is beautiful. I've been there myself. The Isle of Capri, I've been there as well. But I hear a lot of great feedback on Croatia, Dubrovnik. I heard that's a great stop, beautiful city, and obviously Venice, Italy is it just is going to be a great and beautiful stop on our journey. So love to have you all join us. That's for you and your guests. We're going to go in August, September of 2022. Qualification runs all the way through the end of June of 2022. So we've got plenty of time to qualify, more than a year of time yet to qualify. It only takes 4.5 million credits. It's dollar for annuity, about 11 times for your target premium on the life side, 1.5 times for single premium. And everything that you do through IAMS counts towards points for our meeting. So we'd love to have you at our top producer summit. You and your guests, everybody's going to be on the concierge level. So it's like, everybody's going to have a balcony. Everybody's going to have 24-hour access to food and drink. It's going to be a really upscale event. We'd love to have you join us on that beautiful top producer summit. So follow us and like us on Facebook. There's some things you'll see that you'll never see anywhere else unless you follow us or like us. So I would encourage you to do that. And I want to get started today. I touched a moment on Dave as we got started this morning, but I want to take a minute. So Dave is the president of Lazarus Coaching. Been in the business since very early 80s. He's does both insurance and securities. 500 plus seminars under his belt, radio experience that is 20 plus years where he's done work at some level on radio. And so we're going to talk a little bit about Social Security and Social Security claiming is how it can be promoted via radio and via seminar. So Dave is a really great stick at that. Nobody is better in the sales or the marketing and sales part of the business than Dave Pemper. He is a big believer in getting in front of as many good prospects as possible, as efficiently and as beneficially as possible. And that's really what the Social Security claiming opportunity kind of circles around in terms of what the benefit to you. So we're going to hear from an expert on Social Security claiming, and we're going to hear not only how you can use that with your current clients, but how you can use it to grow your business as well from the great and presidential Mr. Dave Pemper. Morning,
Hey, thanks a
Dave.
lot, Steve. How are you doing?
Very well. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Happy Tuesday to you.
Yeah, ready to rock and roll.
You bet. Hey, thanks a lot for everybody, for all the advisors, agents being on the webinar with us today. Social Security is an interesting subject. I'll tell you right now, if you would have talked to me 12 years ago, I knew virtually nothing about Social Security claiming. I mean, I'm telling about nada. And in that time period, I said to myself, I'm going to learn it inside and out. And it's really made a drastic impact on a positive notion to my production when it comes to business of knowing Social Security. Think about it. A lot of people know about annuities. A lot of people know about stock bonds or mutual funds. A lot of people know about bank CDs. But how many people really understand Social Security maximization? 2,700 rules. Thank you, government. But it's a heck of a program, and it keeps a lot of people, out of the poorhouse and poor farms. Implemented in 1935 by Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and it's just complicated. Most advisors, in fact, only about 10-12% of all advisors, including CPAs, accountants, bankers, lawyers, really understand Social Security. So what I'm going to do in the next about 40 minutes or so, 35, 40 minutes, is those are actual slides from my workshop presentation, but and I say myself being a coach for IAMS, I don't work for the FMO. I'm an independent producer, just like you are. I do run my business through IAMS, and I've coached with them for nearly 15 years now. But they're a good one, and they understand if the producer doesn't make money, they don't make money. And they understand also that understanding Social Security certainly can be integral on trying to go in and implement a type of a sales system or type of a resource system that can really help that pre-retired or just retired person, okay, or client or prospect. So I have on here Social Security maximization, why you, the advisor, should really understand it. So what I'm going to do here, hey Steve, are you still there? Okay, I think I got it here.
I am Dave. Yeah, you have
Perfect.
control.
I got it. Okay,
Yep.
I got it. Perfect.
Yep.
Yep. I'm the tech wonder. No question about it. I'm joking about that. Okay. So Sarah O'Brien from CNBC says, I'm taking this word for word, most retirees get little advisor help on Social Security. And I'm going to read this because it's important. A majority of older Americans get no professional advice about a key part of retirement planning, Social Security, even if they work with a financial advisor, a recent study concluded. Steve, I don't have this, but I know that we did it one time. It was over, I think, like 57 or 60% of John Q. public would consider changing advisors if they didn't know Social Security.
Absolutely.
And remember, only 10% to 15 at the most really understand it. That could go and give a seminar on that. In fact, I've got a face-to-face. I did some virtual seminars that had some success. It wasn't terrible. We made a little money, but it wasn't but we're doing a face-to-face tomorrow night and a face-to-face on Thursday, and we've got. I just heard from Ed up in Connecticut, and he's doing his second one in 2 months, and he uses our system. We've got some down in Kansas going on right now, Texas, Florida. I mean, it's the country's certainly opening up with over half the people having some kind of a COVID vaccination shot. So don't be left out. I mean, there's a pent up demand. I just Steve, I just took a little golf trip down to Georgia, South Georgia, down by Savannah on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of this last week. And I have never I cannot remember the last time I missed a flight, but I went to Epley an hour ahead of time and I didn't get on. I missed my plane. And
Airports are full.
I've never had that. Actually, it was 55 minutes, but you know how you just go through everything was. And down in Atlanta, I got there 3 hours ahead of time. There must have been 1,000 people in going through security, and it went pretty fast. But I know I waited for 45 minutes to an hour. I got there 3 hours ahead of time, and I got up there with 35 minutes to go.
Wow.
It's unbelievable how things are opening up. And you know what? The reason I bring that up, it's opening up for marketing in our business also. I mean, people are pent up. They're ready to learn. There hasn't been a lot of Social Security workshops, but that's one of the ways you can learn this. There's also Retirement Boss Radio, which about 30% of my leads and prospects and business come from Social Security. That's an hour-long radio host that we put together and we marketed through IAM's proprietary, and then just one-on-one coaching. I mean, just if you want to. I mean, I've got two people right now that I'm coaching. That they paid $800, and I'm coaching them on up, and they don't want any type of marketing, but they want the coaching and really understand Social Security. So don't ever say that you didn't have three different chances, three different types and ways to go in and really learn Social Security. If you got any questions whatsoever, type them in, and when we're done here, we will certainly answer those for you. Okay, I'm going to go back. This is from Simply Wise, which is an online website, financial website, and they asked the Social Security test only 1 in 300 seniors could ace. And then I put in there, how about you, the financial advisor, the agent? There's 5 questions. I took it. I passed it. I mean, I got all 5 right. But let's see how you do. And take this quiz with me. And it's kind of a fun quiz. And it's kind of tricky, but see what you know about Social Security. So here's the first question. To maximize your monthly Social Security checks, at what age must you claim your benefit? Okay? To maximize your monthly Social Security checks, at what age must you claim your benefit? Okay, write it down. Here we go. Here's the answer. It's not full retirement age. It is age 70. It grows delayed retirement credits each year after your full retirement birthday. Each year, it grows 8% guaranteed per year, up to 70, which it doesn't grow any longer. Answer, age 70. Second question, what's the earliest age you can receive survivor's benefits if you're not disabled? What's the earliest age you can receive survivor's benefits if you're not disabled? Okay, got the answer? Here's the earliest age 60. So if you put 62, you're wrong. If you're not disabled, you can actually start taking as early as 60. All right? Next slide. Does your spouse need to receive benefits for you to qualify for spousal benefits? Does your spouse need to receive benefits for you to qualify for your own spousal benefits? Okay, here we go. Yes or no? Answer is yes. All right. 4, can divorced spouses receive spousal benefits? Can divorced spouses receive spousal benefits? Here we go. Yep, they can, but only if 4 stipulations are met. And of those 4, you have to name 2 of them to get this question right. What are 2 of the 4 stipulations that have to be met to get for divorced spouses to receive a spousal benefit? Ready? Well, first of all, here they are. You're married, had to last at least 10 years. you're currently unmarried, not the spouse. Spouse can be, but currently unmarried. Ex-spouse is at least 62. Your divorce lasted at least 2 years. If you got two of those right, then you get that question right if you answered yes. And then lastly, are you eligible for survivor's benefits if you are divorced? Are you eligible for survivor's benefits if you're divorced? Okay, here we go. Yep. If those four stipulations are met. Now, you got to remember two of those stipulations. And if you can't, then we need a little coaching lessons on memory. Remember what they were? Four of them. Marriage lasted 10 years or longer. You're currently unmarried. Your ex is at least 62. And your divorce has been out at least 2 years or longer. How'd you do on that? If you got them all five, great. I mean, then you know a lot about Social Security. If you didn't guess. If you got four, you're still doing really good. If you got one, two, or three, yeah, you might need some help. And that's where I can come in and really, from a coaching standpoint, look how important this is. This comes out of USA Today from Janet Herron in 2019, July 1. Doing this one thing with your Social Security could mean losing 100 grand in retirement. So to ask, how much does claiming Social Security at the wrong time cost you? Now get a load of this. Retirees will lose an average of $111,000 in income per household over the lifetime. Why? Because they took Social Security benefits at the wrong time. Look at four. Only 4% of retirees took Social Security at the financially optimal age. You know what the other way to say that is? 96% of them took it the wrong age. Oh, you think they need us? My gosh. That's how little is known about Social Security claiming. And that's what I'm coaching. That's what I'm teaching. Kind of a quick stroll down memory lane. Started in 1935 by FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. First benefit check went into the system in 1937, but the first actual check was written out to Ida Mae Fuller in 1940. 65 was the only date. Couldn't take early at a discount, later at an increase. And the longevity age was age 62 at the time. So what a deal for the government. But in 1961, under President Kennedy, and they lowered the age to 62 at a reduction. And shortly after that, they raised it to 70 with an increase if you waited. Cost of living allowances, COLA, inflation started. And automatically in 1975, there's only been 3 years. There hasn't been a cost of living increase. 2010, 2011, and 2016. There was no taxes on Social Security until the trust fund went bankrupt in 1982. So in 83, they implemented a taxation that up to 50% of your benefits could be taxed if you're above certain brackets. With Reagan, Bill Clinton came in 93 and thought, hey, 50% is good for taxation. Let's go 85%. But it is taxed now if you make it above those brackets. Those brackets have not changed since they got originated in 1983, and then the 85 bracket in 1993. So most of the people I work with, about half the people in the U.S. pay taxes, but by far the majority of people that I have do pay tax on Social Security. Last big legislation that changed Social Security claiming was the Bipartisan Budget Act of 215, phased out filing, suspended 6 months in restricted application. It still has up to January of 2018, but it is phasing out. You have to be born before if you want to take the benefit of restricted application, coordinating spousal benefits, before January 2nd of 1954. Suspended application has been done for back in 2015. How important is Social Security? Darn important. Nearly 60% of all retirees, they count on Social Security to be a major source of income. And actually, it's a bigger source of income than retirement plans, personal savings. Okay? Social Security 101 in simple form, yeah. You got Three ages or dates that are important. What's the earliest age that you can take Social Security? Age 62. What's the latest date that you must take Social Security? 70. What age is in the middle? Yeah. Your full retirement age is either 66 or anywhere in between up to 67. A newborn today is age 67 is full retirement age. Can't be later than full retirement age. And no one is before 66 today. Okay? Now, I will say this. With Social Security claiming, so many times people, they'll get frustrated that they're not learning it fast enough. But if you know the individual benefit, you know those five things: individual benefit, spousal benefit, divorce benefit, survivor benefit, and restricted application. Those five areas, you can answer 80-85% of all of your Social Security questions. So this kind of Social Security 101 starts with the individual benefit. Okay? Now, when it talks about Social Security can have a huge value, yeah, by claiming at your right time, not a right time or the right time, but at your right time. That's when you can really bring huge value. Last year, the trust fund ran a surplus of about $3 billion on $2.9 trillion total. But in about 2035, so in 13, 14 years, they're looking at that 2.9 trillion will, with all the baby boomers taking the Social Security, will get drained down to nothing. One of the big reasons also is we used to have a lot more kids. There's less kids now, less than 2 kids per family. So, there's less money of the workers coming in. In 1950, there was 15 workers for every retired. Today, there's 2.9 workers for every retired. There's all different kind of things you can do. You might, if you're Democrat, you probably want to do a little more taxation. Republican, a little more raising of the age. There'll probably be some kind of compromise between the two before it's all said and done. It's certainly a political hot potato. Social Security facts. Is it a pay-as-you-go system? Yeah, even if the trust fund goes bankrupt, there's still 6.2% of payroll taxes going in from the employee, matched by 6.2% by the employer. That is 12.4%. So for every 100,000 you make, you're putting in $12,400. Half of that by you and half of that your employer. If you're self-employed like me, we pay both sides of it. I thought that was a rook when I started doing it, but I do understand now. I understand why that happens. Okay, and it's fair. What does the government buy in the Social Security Trust Fund? That 2.9 trillion, it was originally made up of special issue government bonds, special issue guaranteed government bonds. But what happens is the government has gone in and they have sold those bonds and replaced them with IOUs from the government. So is there anything hard asset, tangible asset, that backs Social Security? Nothing. But it is backed by the full faith and credit of the strength and financial strength of the United States government. So people say, well, gold doesn't, it's not covered by gold or by silver or by bonds. No, nothing backs it but the IOU. And I don't have any problem with that. I'm not losing any sleep. Because what backs the dollar bill in your pocket? What backs that? Does gold back that? No. Does silver back that? No. What backs it? You know what? Full faith and credit of the United States government. So if people start not taking currency, then I'll get concerned about my Social Security. But before that, I won't. Okay? All right. Next slide. So you need 40 quarters of coverage. That you can earn up to 4 quarters in one given year. Each quarter for 2021 is $1,470. If you take that 14, that's how much you can earn for a quarter of coverage. So if you make 1470, you get 1 quarter of coverage. If you take that times 4, you get 5880, $5,880. That's the most quarters you can get. The more you make, the bigger those quarterly credits are. Up to 142,000, I think it's 700, but almost 143,000. Once you make above that, no, you don't put it in Social Security any longer. So but the more you make, the bigger those quarters are. You need 40 of those to have a Social Security benefit, and that's also very important because that's how you get your Medicare A and B benefit also at age 65 is by having those 40 quarters in. But they figure out your 35 highest inflation adjusted years. They add those up to get your benefit, and if there's a COLA, that's it will increase every year. And it's so like this year it's 1.3% is the COLA. Last year it was 1.6. Year before that 2%. Year before that 2.8. The year before that, the year before that was 2%. So, but this next year they said the COLA could be over 4% because inflation is certainly increasing. Don't you love that dog? A long-haired dachshund with a birthday cap on and a bone tie. Kind of bad joke. Yeah, FRA, full retirement age. Born from 43 to 54, its full retirement age is 66. I was born in 55. Then it jumps up 2 months. So my birthday was in April. So in June, I'll be full retirement age of Social Security. 56, 57, anything but past 1967 or later is 1960 or later is age 67. If you take early, it's reduced anywhere, but according to how old you are, between 25 and 30% if you take it 62. And then it goes up each year up to full retirement age. If you wait later than full retirement age, it goes up 8% every single year until you're 70, which is when you have to start taking 8%. It grows. If you wait to 66 to 67, how many people wait until 70? I mean, I am. I'm absolutely waiting until 70. How many people wait to 70? 3%. 3%. Where's the patience of America? Where's the knowledge of it? And that's what people are striving for. Like when we have all those people come in for my workshops the next 2 days, they want answers, and I can give that to them. And you can too if you know Social Security. So let's go through the spousal benefit first, okay? Now I'm going to go. Those are the actual slides we coach from, but I'm going to go through this slower if I was coaching with you than I will today because of just kind of lack of time. Because we're going to be finished here in about 15 minutes. All right. If you have questions, type them in. So here we go. Spousal benefit. Here's how it works. Excuse me. Dave's PIA. PIA stands for primary insurance amount, which is the amount at your full retirement age. So say Dave's 66, Amy is 66. Dave's PIA is 2,400. Amy's PIA is 1,000. Dave takes his, Amy takes hers. Dave gets 2,400, Amy gets 1,000, or she can take half of Dave's, whichever is higher, as long as he took his benefit. Dave gets 2,400, Amy now gets 1,200 because 1,200 is higher than 1,000. And how that's figured is $1,000 benefit for the individual benefit, and there's a spousal top-up of $200. Okay? What happens if Amy never worked? She was a stay-at-home mom her entire life or didn't have the 40 quarterly credits. Dave takes his benefit. How much does Amy get? Half of his, 1,200, same thing. Dave doesn't take his benefit. Nope, then there's no money there to take until he takes his. And remember, if Dave doesn't take, as one of our quiz questions, if Dave doesn't take, Amy can only take 1,000. That's how the spousal benefit works, kind of in a nutshell. All right? Let's go into divorced spouse, a very readily non-used Social Security benefit. What are the 4 stipulations? Marriage had to last at least 10 years. Yep. You're currently unmarried. Yep. X is at least 62. Yep. Divorce lasted at least 2 years or longer. The divorce was at least 2 years or longer out. Yeah. If you have those 4 things, I gave you only 2 of those things to win the question, but you have to get those 4 things with Social Security. If that's the case, you can take your spouse just as if you're still married to them. Why is that important? Because married people have more options than single people when it comes to Social Security claiming. Very important. Survivor benefit. This is pretty simple again. First of all, my wife says no one gets out of here alive. Isn't that the truth? We're all going to die. Every single one of us. Physically. Now, spiritually, maybe not the case, but physically, yes, we do. No one gets out alive. My mom's 97 years old right now, 97 and a half, living at home. And she dates a 97-year-old boyfriend. She has for 11 years. Dad's been gone for 15. This will be the second year now that they haven't taken a big trip somewhere. People are living longer. And how long does Social Security pay you? Forever, till you die. It's the greatest annuity, lifetime annuity pension there is. So here's what happens is, let's say Dave's got a $2,000 benefit. Amy's is 12. Dave dies first. Guy dies 75% of the time. The guy dies first. And I always say in my workshops, he does because he elects to. That's a joke. Just take it as a joke. But he's dead. Now, Amy has to request to jump up to his benefit. What happens if she doesn't request? She doesn't get it. She doesn't get the benefit. She stays at $1,200. I had a gal come in to me at one of my very first workshops. It was Keene Memorial Library here in Fremont back about 10, 11 years ago. It was one of my first 3 or 4 workshops. And Scott comes in and said, I love, I was like 55 years old. She was like 73 years old. She says, Mr. Pimper. And I always get a kick when they call me Mr. when they're older than me. Mr. Pimper, you said something that really disturbed me in the workshop. I said, what's that? She said, you said that if you're married and your spouse dies and that spouse has a higher benefit than you did, that you can jump up to their benefit. I said, that's exactly right. And just like a school marm, she says, well, I was told you couldn't do that. And I said, well, who told you that? And she said, my brother. How'd you like to be at those Thanksgiving dinners? Yeah, that little stint on her brother cost her $500 a month, $6,000 a year. $500 a month, which is $6,000 a year, and it had been 5 years since her husband died. Cost her $30,000 because she listened to her brother. And when I'm in the workshop, I say, I'm just going to tell you right now, don't listen to your brother or your mother or your aunt or your uncle or your priest or your pastor or your rabbi. Come to me. I know Social Security claiming. I do it day in and day out with people's finances. Come to me to get the right answer. That's why, and then I say, that's why so many people sign up for the seminar, for the consultation, because they want to find out. Plus, we give an 11-page Social Security report analysis that really, really depicts your specifics on when it comes to Social Security maximization. Strong, strong, strong. Also, when someone dies, you can go in and take a spousal benefit and let yours run. You can take the widow's benefit and let yours go. You can take your benefit and let the widow's go. I mean, there's all different pluses on a survivor benefit for Social Security. Now, coordinating spousal benefits, this was the last big piece of legislation back in 2015. File and suspend was phased out after 6 months. Restricted coordinated spousal benefit was phased out over 8 years. We still have about 2.5 years left on that. What you have to do, though, the big thing is the person requesting the benefit, the restricted application with the spouse, has to be born before January the 2nd of 1954. Period. If you're not, you just don't get the benefit. They phased it out. And this gets pretty complicated. I take quite a bit of time. Like today, I had a guy coaching with seminar coaching. We took quite a bit of time on this slide today, but in this scenario, since Dave and Amy are both 66, well, in reality, Dave has to be born before January 2nd of 1954. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Okay? Dave's PIA is 2,400. Amy's is 1,000. Amy takes her benefit, and Dave, instead of just letting his grow, he's going to restrict his application and let it grow. And if he does that, in the eyes of Social Security, he can go in and take a spousal benefit. It's a loophole. Maybe they're closing it. But he can take half of Amy's 1,000, which is 500. That $500 or times 12 months, that's 6,000 a year. Yeah, 6,000 one year, 18,000 2 years. It's a big, big benefit. It's free money. Free, free money. Okay? Only, believe it or not, only 0.7% of all people that this would benefit in the United States use it. And the majority of the reason why, they just don't know it's even available because they're not going to hear this coordinating benefit from Social Security Administration. You know what? You know what Social Security Administration won't do? Won't give you advice. Is that bizarre? I went out and asked my lawyer, my CPA, and my banker, do they really know much about Social Security claiming? All of them said we do not. I said, well, who do you refer out to? They all said Social Security Administration, and they cannot give advice. They give you highest benefit you're entitled to right now. They can't scenario plan, talk about restricted application. Is that wild? People just don't know that. In fact, look at D there. This is off their manual, Palm's manual. Provide enough information so that claimants can make informed choices, but do not give advice. Social Security Administration offices are not open right now. They're still closed. You have to talk to them on the phone or online. A lot of people our age want to talk to people face to face. Cannot do that. All right. So, and I read through each one of those because I think they're that important. But consider all of your income streams, and there's 5 of them. First of all, Social Security is not a standalone income stream. All right? There's 5 income streams. It's one of them. Social Security is the most flexible of all income streams. Either claiming at your right time, not a right time or the right time. I always say this too, Social Security absolutely is the worst corporate water cooler talk there is. Hey Dave, I took it 62 and you should too. Hey Dave, I took it 70 and you should too. That's like saying, hey Dave, I love the color violet and you should too. No. It's an independent choice. It's an independent decision for what maximizes your benefit. And when you're looking at break even, don't forget about the survivor benefit. It's a big deal. What are the 5 pillars of income? Working wages, pensions. But income producing assets is where I uncover every single asset when my client comes on in. And I need to know that whether we're going to give them advice to take from their investments, their savings, their income, and let their Social Security grow or not. This is where I do so much 401k, IRA, 401 thrift savings, 457 government. I work a ton with rollovers. RMDs at 72 on traditionals, that's an income stream, but Social Security is by far the most flexible. It's a lot of benefits. There's a lot to consider for your best claiming decision. Now, remember I told you there's 3 ways that you can learn Social Security. And I'm telling you, if this somehow kind of spun some thought process for yourself. Hey, you know what? I never knew how to make money from Social Security, but you're uncovering assets and you're explaining. I just had a gal that we did a restricted application for her husband, and I did a retro benefit of going back. You can go up to 6 months once you're full retirement age. We went back 4 months. I got about $3,400 of a one-time check because I should have done it 4 months ago. Plus, I made him an extra $750 a month, so almost $9,000 a year more for 2.5 years, about $3,000. I found him through restricted application, and no kidding, she looked at me and she had all her statements. She said, well, I'm going to be bold here, but I want you to be my advisor. Only because I knew Social Security. You can do it from a Social Security seminar, which things are opening wide open in the U.S. now. My Retirement Boss Radio just put a person on the West Coast, a big city in California. He just came on board yesterday. We've had some really good success, averaging 10 appointments more a month, and some really reasonably priced right now radio stations. But for an hour, being your own radio host, or just a la carte, pay $800, and I'm going to coach you up on 4 sessions of Social Security. There's a book that you buy that's the Bible of Social Security, and You get attachments, and but you know what? If you don't know Social Security, you should, because it can really increase your production. It can really increase the knowledge within your business. There's no saying, it says procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. You know what? Never comes. Tomorrow never comes, does it? Procrastinators lose money. They don't make money. Don't be a procrastinator. If you heard something today during this webinar that you think, hey, you know what? Maybe that could help me, take some action. Let's talk. That doesn't mean that you're going to do it, but you're going to talk to someone who is a marketer. I mean, I've done 138 or 9 public workshops. Been on radio for nearly 30 years. I've got 14 years of my own hour or 45-minute radio show. I mean, we do a lot of marketing, but Social Security seems to be the golden weave through all of that. So Steve is going to put up a slide, and it's yes, I would like a consultation, or no, I don't. And if you mark yes, I'm going to tell you right now, that 15, 20, 25 minutes that we talk, I mean, it's going to be extremely important for you, I think, because we're going to talk about where your business is, what makes your business tick, what you're doing for marketing right now, and maybe most of all, for an importance, is what do you really know about Social Security? And I'll tell you right now, Social Security can make, I can't emphasize this enough, and I'm not just saying it. I'm just going to let you know it's a commodity. They have to get Social Security if they got their 40 quarterly credits. If they work for 10 years, and most people, 96% of all Americans, have a Social Security benefit. But most people don't know when to take. Almost 40% of the people take at the age of 62 just because they don't know any better. But remember, Social Security Administration, they cannot go in and they can't give you advice. They can't do it. So this slide is going to come up pretty soon, and it's going to say, yes, I'd like to have a consultation, or no, I don't want a consultation. But this is not a high pressure. I'm just telling you right now, it's just us talking. Hey, what do you do with your business? What kind of products are you showing? Give me an idea of what your goals are for next year. What are your goals this year? What have you done in the past that's been very successful? But knowing Social Security and understanding a sales process to use Social Security to bring more business in your door, it's key. It's very, very important. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer a couple questions that came on up, and I apologize. Steve must have just got hung up there a little bit, but that slide will be coming up just any minute now, okay? But here's a question that I think is a pretty darn good question. She gives some specifics here, but she said, I am full retirement age. I'm 67 years old, and I have not taken. They're actually taking from their retirement plan, and the husband is younger. He's 63. She wants to know if she can do that restricted application. Well, here's what happens: is it depends. If your husband's 66, it's when he was born. So he probably cannot do it. If he's 67 and born before January the 2nd in 1954, then he could restrict his application as long as you're taking yours. So that gets really complicated. And you know what? I normally do that kind of on a one-on-one, but I will say the important thing there is that we have software. People who sign up, they get free software for 3 months. Okay, if you want to buy it after that, you can. It's about $30 a month to rent. You go and that is the reports for you. It shows you the most optimal time for that person to take under their circumstances. Okay, but that kind of question, it might take 10 to 15 minutes really to answer all of that all the way down. But it's a good question, but it's a complicated question. Okay, here's another one. A person says, I heard there are no do-overs with Social Security, and you talked about a do-over. Yeah, there's actually, good question, there's actually 3 do-overs in Social Security claiming. One is if you made a mistake and within the first, you started your Social Security, find out you probably should have done that, you can pay back all of your benefit, or if there's a spousal benefit off of it, they have to pay it all back within 12 months. Then it's as if you never took Social Security. You can do that one time, start over like it never happened, erase it. Second way is, remember that do-over? Oh, and here goes. Yeah, Steve's back now. Yeah, so here's would you like more information on Social Security coaching? If it's yes, just mark yes. And Dave Corwin will give you a call, within the next probably today. And if you mark yes, take the call when he calls. I mean, you guys are very busy selling, very busy in the business. I know Dave, he's very busy at what he does of contacting producers. But if you mark yes, he will give you a call. The second do-over was, remember the gal that her husband died? She went and retroacted 6 months. So when I say she lost 30,000, she actually lost 27 because she got $500 back for 6 months. And the other way is, if you start your benefit before full retirement age, say at 62, and then you want to stop the benefit before full retirement age, you can't. At full retirement age, you can stop it again and earn delayed retirement credits, but you can't before that. So those are some questions that came on up. And Steve, I talked to you about 10 minutes before the slide got up, but that's okay because it's up now and people can mark yes, and I'll hand it over to you.
Perfect. Thank you, Dave. And yeah, there was a couple questions. Thank you for getting those answered. There are a couple questions about radio. And I know everybody's got questions about seminars right now. We're hearing them over and over. Can we do in face-to-face seminars right now? Is it possible to, what's the cost of that? Can you go over some of those numbers for us right now? And I know we've had a little bit of experience over the last month or so with some face-to-face, which has been very positive. So maybe it might be useful to talk about that for just a second.
Yeah, Social Security seminars. Here's what you get. You get coaching from myself. So you're going to get a minimum of 3 coachings on Social Security. Okay, on Social Security, and then you're going to get all of the help of setting up your workshop. That includes all the marketing to get people there. We're doing it through Facebook, which has been very, very efficient. But all in cost, including the coaching, I get paid from IAMS, like they stipend me. It's $2,500, and the goal on that is to get between 2 nights 25 people. That's the goal. And so we'd like to get 10 appointments, from that workshop. You get the PowerPoint presentation, you get the coaching, you get the seminar. Now, if you know Social Security inside and out, we got a few people that do, then you probably don't need as much coaching or just a brush up on it. But Lynn, we get you everything we mail out, how we contact everybody. It's a turnkey system, $2,500. That's it, and face-to-face. Second one is Retirement Boss Radio. You know what? This fella in one of the largest Western towns on a really good station, we normally go out for an hour. This person actually went out for a half an hour, but his all-in cost on that per month was $2,700, all in, meaning all the production, the radio time, the coaching, the call center that does all setting all your appointments, electronic calendar to go in and do that. Yeah, under $3,000. For a full hour, it's normally between $2,500 and say $4,000. But radio, don't think it's too expensive, and we have a turnkey system. I've done an independent radio show for 14 years. Retirement Boss Radio, Take Charge of Your Money, is trademarked. We've done that now for 3 years. It's proprietary through IAMS. I put it together, and it's been very successful. I've had very good success and averaging well over 10 appointments every month on that. And then lastly, if you just want to go in and get coached up, $800. Don't want to do any marketing or don't want to spend money on marketing. That's your prerogative. Most people don't want to do that, but I have 2 right now that are. If you want to get just coached up on Social Security, who can you find within the FMO arena? Who can you find within the call down to the Social Security Administration office, see if they'll coach you up on Social Security claiming? No. Very few people do. I really enjoy it. I get a kick out of it. It's an area that most people don't understand. But if you like that, $800, I mean, I don't know, you could probably, if you sell a $10,000 annuity, you probably pay for it or come close to paying.
Yep,
So it's
that's
just not
fine.
very much money. It really, really isn't. We'd love to work with you and talk with you, and really, as they say in the backwoods of Nebraska, behind the shed, learn you up on Social Security.
And you've mentioned to me, and I know we've mentioned on a few webinars, there's probably nothing that's resulted in more new clientele to your business than knowledge around Social Security. Would you still, I mean, is that still kind of been the case for you over the last few months, even during the pandemic? More so, less so? What do you think?
No, just as much because Retirement Bus Radio, that's the mainstay. I mean, people are getting that information, and it's marketing. Just knowing the knowledge doesn't make you money,
Yep,
but knowing the knowledge and then getting in front of qualified prospects, that makes you money. There are some people that just take Social Security and just want to learn it. That's fine.
sure.
But the ones who really do well is they market Social Security, and that's what we have an expertise with, Steve, and we
Yeah.
help so many people do that. You bet.
Well, and we go back to, and I mentioned this at the outset before you joined on, but in March, maybe February, March of last year, we canceled 17 Social Security seminars, because we were, uh, social distancing just caused a problem with the face-to-face. We'll be back up, I would say, June, July. We'll be doing seminars and really just be in that mode by June or July. People need to be planning now. So I hope you all are considering that as an opportunity. It's really, of all the seminar things that we have done, and Davis has been the driving force behind a number of them, but Social Security has easily been the most productive for our agents in the field in terms of meeting new customers and growing their client base and doing business. So I hope you'll consider that. We've got great opportunities around that are just, and I do believe there's some pent up desire. I think that's why you've had such good luck on radio. Is people, there are people that are looking for advice and guidance that haven't been able to get it for the past 9, 10, 11 months. And so I do believe that there's some pent up desire that someone is going to be the beneficiary of. Hopefully it's people on the line with us today. As I look at our voting rolls, I see that there are still a couple people that haven't voted. Don't be afraid to put no. It's good for us to know if that's not of interest. And Dave, you mentioned that Dave Corner will probably give him a call today. He will. It'll be a call probably within a couple hours that you'll get. And the idea is that if you have interest, we want to make sure that we're getting you lined up with Dave as soon as possible. And so we'll make that call relatively quickly. So by the same token, if you don't have interest, that's helpful for Dave Corwin to know that as well. He won't bother you at all. Being in the middle might cause a phone call where you don't need one. So don't be afraid to put no on there. But I hope you put yes. I think if you want to grow your business using Social Security claiming, I think this is as great an opportunity as you're going to run across, whether you decide to do it via radio, decide to do it via seminars, or decide to do it just with word of mouth. And then Dave is glad to train you up. Another factor of that I think is real important to you, and I think you'll find beneficial, is the uh, just having that resource of Dave, so that if you do run across a question that you don't know the answer to, which you do, Dave, don't you? I mean, you've, even for yourself, every once in a while, you run across something that you need to look up, correct?
Sure, sure. I go to the POMS, the Program Operational Manual Systems, which is the back office of Social Security. I kind of know how to get on that. I mean, anybody can. I mean, it isn't like I'm going through some dark back door, but I can find the answer for you, and I can just get back to the person. There's
Yep.
never been an answer I haven't been able to find,
No,
and
no, yeah.
by far the majority. I haven't looked up an answer for quite a while now, but not that it couldn't happen, but most of the same questions come up time and time and time. Yep.
You betcha. You
Yep.
betcha. And you've answered a lot of those here today. And so I thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know you're rocking with appointments right now. Congratulations on
Yeah.
that.
Thank
So I appreciate you taking your time with us today. And thank you all as well for joining us today. I'm going to close this poll out shortly, but before I do, give you one last chance to answer yay or nay. And while I'm doing that, again, there's a lot of folks that maybe are not putting the time and effort into their business to make it grow the way that they want to and help their clients the way that you are here today. We appreciate that here at IAMS. We think training is really important for us and for producers. And so we want to give you as much information as we can so that you can be as valuable to your clients as you want to be. So when somebody takes the time out of their busy schedule to join us, we think a lot of that, and we're going to go the extra mile for you. Dave loves the opportunity to work with producers like yourself that are always looking for ways to grow their business. So appreciate you taking some time here today, and look forward to some special attention from the team here at IAMS and Dave's team over at Lazarus Coaching to make sure that you get what you need and are as effective as you want to be in growing your business. So thank you for your time today. Dave, is there anything that you want to say as we finish up today?
No, we had a lot of folks today, Steve. I mean,
We do.
a lot of
Yep.
people. They just want to learn about Social Security. This is a great opportunity. 3 different ways to do it. 2 are paid for um, by IAMS. I mean, they stipend me. Nothing comes out of your hierarchy. I mean, it's a really great offer. Or if you want to a la carte it, then you can just pay me direct. But you know what? Really understanding Social Security, most advisors just think, how do you make money from Social Security? Per se, you don't, unless you charge, which is ridiculous because you can charge $80 an hour. Or the last workshop I had, Steve, was on the 7th of March last year, and I
Wow.
had 2 pieces of business. Yeah, I mean, of face to face, and I got
Yes.
the
Yep.
next one tomorrow. I've had
Mhm.
some. I had 5 virtuals or 6 virtuals, but you know what? I had I had about 885, almost 900,000 come in from that workshop between 2 rollovers, with 401k rollovers.
Yep.
And I'll tell you right now, it's 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 the perfect age. It's that pre-retired or just retired. People who come are 62, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you're doing Medicare, Medicare Advantage, Medicare Sup, senior health, I mean that's the perfect age also, which we do too. So I'll just let you know, there's a lot of great marketing ideas, but the ones we have are proven. The track we have from Social Security is proven, and it's don't let the train pass you by. Jump on that train and take advantage. We IAMS and Dave Pemper, we want to help you increase your production. End of story.
Excellent advice. Thank you. And again, thank you all for joining us here today. Have a great finish to your day. I'm going to close that poll out. And if you weren't able to vote, that's by all means, give me a call or give Dave Corbin a call here at the office, and we'll get you set up for a minute or two with Dave. It'll be a valuable time spent for you, I guarantee it. And have a great finish to your marketing week. And whatever we can do to help you here at IAMS, you have my number, 800-255-5055. Thank you so much for joining us today.